Outsiders only. This is Skytear.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I am the commander, but I am decided that today I'm going to change my name to Candy. My full name now is going to be Candy's Recording Finally Gets Started. Welcome to episode number 38 of Skytear, Outsiders Only, the podcast for the fans of the fans and by the fans of Skytear. So today we are joined with Ricardo and Giacomo, not really Ricardo, just Giacomo. And I'm messing everything up here. This is amazing. This is what happens when I have to redo another intro.
It's okay,
we are
Candy.
here today to talk about Living Rules updates. This entire episode is already a mess, and we haven't even bypassed the 30-second mark, so thank you very much. We had a small error recording the first take, and we went for about a half an hour without realizing anything was recorded. So you'll excuse me for being completely disorganized.
Excused.
Thank you.
It's okay, Candy.
It's just my fault.
It is true. In this case, we're going to... we can blame Giacomo. Excellent.
No, I was about to say for real. I'm not to blame.
All right.
He's here.
He is here, which is why we can blame him. Always blame people that are in the area to defend themselves. Otherwise, it's just not tasteful. So, on today's episode, we are, as we mentioned, going to talk with Giacomo about the new rules for Skytear. You've heard some teasing comments if you watched today's episode. Sunday's episode of the King of the Dome, where Ricardo was soundly and instantly trampled by Corrido with little mercy at all. You did hear some teases about new rules being changed, and we're here to discuss kind of what the new rules are, some of their implications, and the motivations behind them.
I did not play trample against him, by the way.
I know, it was a shame. I was actually expecting that.
It would have been good, yeah.
I thought about it. I was deciding between big Goldbeard skirmishes or trample, and I decided to go with the...
Because you got stuffed with a combo there that I was really happy to see with Release the Spirit and Time Warp.
It was awesome, and I still got to win through Nexus Destruction even without trample.
It's true. It was a very good game. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Just going to say, by the way, if there's anyone you want to be with Nexus Destruction, it's Ricardo.
It's true.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I can't remember if it's still the same, but I remember back in like the summertime, whenever I looked at the metastats page, Nexus Destruction was the victory 8% of the time. And if you filter it for Ricardo only, it goes up to 25%.
Yeah. By time...
I think my Nexus Destruction rate is actually like 1% higher than Ricardo's at this point.
Nice.
Okay, I think you, Eric, is another big one, a strong one in that Nexus Destruction.
That's true.
I tried to whistle without waking up kids. It's not easy.
That's
it's not a good whistle. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's go.
We'll blame you for it.
Yeah. So
sorry.
Don't worry, he's beating a dead joke again like he normally does.
Oh man.
Okay.
All right. Can we move on now?
So, God, another time. Sorry, listeners, sorry, viewers, but for the inconvenience. But as you can see now, we have got the Skytear Season 2 Living Roots summary on screen, so that we can talk a bit about what is going to change together with Giacomo, thankfully.
Yes. Let's start with the first chapter, drawing cards.
Woo! More cards!
Yes, exactly. You guys are going to go draw more cards. And what changed? Well, first of all, maximum hand size was increased to 7. So you can hold more of them. And because, play more cards is more fun, right? So
yes.
Exactly. That's why people don't play Skytear Drain, because people like cards.
Yeah, okay, that's another chapter. It's not for today. But we changed the balance of things a bit and how you draw. So, first of all, by defeating an enemy hero, you only draw 1 card instead of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we anticipated at the moment the reward you get by pushing, because now you draw a card whenever you win a control challenge, and you don't draw anymore when you damage a tower or a nexus. So
Now, when you say win a controlled challenge, does that include domes as well, or is that only in lanes?
that includes domes as well.
Okay.
So what does it mean? During the minions phase, essentially on the 2 lane, you're gonna draw 3 cards, unless you draw between the players, right? So why did we do this? Good question. And I have the answer.
Wait.
I'm running the podcast. What?
Why did you do this?
Good question. There is the answer. So we wanted to give an incentive to not pile into the dome in turn 1. That is a MOBA, right? So that is a MOBA could be the tagline of this Living Grooves update of the season 2. What does it mean? We wanted to give more incentive to do lane push and counter push, and so that's a natural way to do it. Like up until now, you started to draw cards only when you damage tower, and that meant maybe turn 2 if you really push well. Definitely not on turn 1. So right now, instead, the dynamic is very different. You can start your drawing engines already from turn 1. Like if you slow push both lanes and the opponent ignores them, they're gonna net you cards turn after turn after turn without having to invest anything in them. So that's fun. What do you guys think of it?
It also means too that, if you are trying to dome pile, you can send a hero into the lane, attack a minion, and then skirmish into the dome, and then you can, have a little bit of push with the minions.
Yeah.
While still piling in the dome. So you can it provides a little more incentive to kind of divide your efforts into other places, even if you're still trying to dome pile.
Yami with 3 times quick shot every game now, baby.
Yes. Yeah.
Walk into the lane, walk over, stomp on a minion with her passive, quick shot another minion, and then worship swing herself into the dome. Boom. There it is.
Yeah, exactly. So you have this kind of incentive to at least interact with the minions and the lane, even if you really want the dome.
Yes.
And the result of this is that at the start of second turn, most of the time you're going to have 7 cards, even if you played 2 cards or 3 cards on turn 1. So that's a lot of fun. Okay, that was it.
In this regards, you can see that you reduced, let's say, the points that aggro players are gaining, like defeating an enemy hero is only 1 card draw now instead of 2.
Yeah, but I don't see it as an aggro debuff, because in reality, an aggro player is gonna maybe win the dome, and that's 1 more card anyway. So I think everyone is gonna draw more no matter what. You get a little less snowballing when you get 2 kills and one after the other, maybe. But I don't think aggro is penalized in this specific instance. But definitely aggro must change, like especially the flip deck. I think it's much less viable, because that was another theme for our change. We wanted to not nerf the flip deck, but make sure we could see more +0, -1, +1 even in the meta, right? And so yeah, let's move on and see the other changes, because
one other quick thing about that drawing cards thing too is it also can kind of create some interesting decisions where you could have the last activation of the round and you could have a choice of tying a lane, and so 2 different lanes are tied, or winning a different lane so each player gets a card. So either neither player gets a card or both players get a card. So it can create interesting decisions like that as well.
Yes, yeah. And just keep in mind, end of turn, you still draw 2 cards. So it's the same drawing power of before. So really, the only downside is sometimes you end up discarding cards. And that's something I don't like as an experience. Like not a Skytear drain, but the fact that you have to filter your cards and discard them. But I mean, we couldn't find a a better balance, and we are really happy with this. So
Yeah,
Right.
nice.
And there's also always the chance that all the lanes get tied and then the
Yeah.
cards kind of just pile up. Or
Yeah.
people aren't getting cards as much.
Yeah.
And that's why aggro games are better.
You just want to
I
see
make my
blood,
case.
don't you?
I mean, yes, that is accurate.
Yeah, I
don't
love
know.
them. I mean, I hope to see. We just wanted to see more diversity and not
Right.
just smash down aggro, right? But just make sure it's a MOBA and people can feel it all the time. And yeah, so
Yeah, that's important.
Yep.
Okay,
let's move
next
on.
step. I'd swap
Conditions.
to conditions.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Woo.
What do we have here? So Frenzy got another change. For people not
Poor
aware,
Frenzy.
Frenzy has been changed already last year once. There is a
Twice?
second.
Twice, 3 times.
Yeah, so we learned the lesson there. We made a open beta test in the summer. Never do that again. It's just confusing and frustrating. So I think this is for good. We found the good one. It's at the same time we're changing disarm because we're making it perfectly symmetric, the same way fast and slow even out themselves.
Perfect.
So
Okay. I would just read it for the listeners who can't have a look now at the document, maybe. So the condition changes are going to be for disarm, the affected hero has -2 attack and -2 skirmish damage. And on Frenzy, the affected hero has +2 attack and +2 skirmish damage. This is the new ruling.
Right. So, I mean, a few notes here. First of all, it's symmetric. So it's much easier to grasp and pick up for new players. Second, it's a real condition because up until now, it wasn't a real proper condition. Like it was confusing to explain, to use, and you couldn't really charm it away or remove it like other conditions. So it never felt right. So overall, in terms of damage, I'm a bit sad that it lost the flexibility of doing double 2 attacks because you could do cool stuff with it, with 2 attacks. But overall, it's just so much more streamlined. And we're doing these updates to streamline the game as well for new players. So I think I'm quite happy where we landed. Of course, Frenzy changes value, and you guys will tell us if it got worse or better. It's hard to say for me.
So one of the things that I think that is an interesting implication from this change is you can actually fail to kill minions now. Like even like with the old disarm, even if you had your attack cut in half and you flipped a -1 from like a specialist hero, you would still, because of Skytear's round up rule, do 1 damage and kill the minion or the pillar or the illusion, whatever you're targeting. It's now actually possible to flub on a minion. So like disarm can be used for that purpose.
Yes. If you pair that up with Miyuki,
I was just going to say. Decree of Kurumo. Instant speed, make it they can't kill minions.
Yeah. No, literally, that's the case. Like you disarm and then exhaust the slow into well, I guess Decree of Kurumo wouldn't give it the slow because it's just mark as opposed to a worship action. But anyways, yeah, you can very easily prevent your minions from dying with something other than safeguard now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So more options for minion control maybe.
I will be interested now to see though, because like Giacomo now gets, I think, a little bit better because his ult gives him that free attack. So basically you just get a double booster on your attack. So now, still the triple slash would still be really cool and a lot better, but like you now get 2 6+ attacks, which can still easily melt any one of the marksman or the mage class heroes if you get a decent flip result. So
7+ because of the mark.
Oh, right. Assuming that they're marked. Yeah. Good point.
Well, if they're not marked, you're not getting the free attack, so.
Oh, yeah. I don't play Giacomo. I forget how that card works.
Make a
I know the general rule to it. I don't know exactly how it works. Please. Do you expect me to know the rules whenever I commentate games? Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think one of the big things here, though, is that we're, you initially look at this and say you're missing out on a whole attack, only to, like with Frenzy, you're only increasing the attack by 2, and you're missing out on a whole attack. But it's also increasing the skirmish damage too. So even though you're essentially, if you do a skirmish and an attack, you're adding 4 damage.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think I'm not good at doing math, but I think if you are a warrior, you're really happy with this, like Gurjan or you know. And if you are an assassin, I think you lost a bit maybe sometime, but I don't know. I'm bad at math, so.
We did the math a little bit. Like if
Tape did it.
Well, Tape did some math. So here's the thing: like, from a purely numbers perspective, it's about the same. But the important thing to consider is because you aren't getting a bonus attack, it does cost you the additional AP points. So like that's the balancing factor here. Like the math, the damage is about the same, but it's now 2 AP versus 1 AP. So. Which,
and
speaking of skirmish, we're going to get to that later.
Yeah, got changed a lot. So
we'll get to that later.
That's coming up.
I think the biggest downside to this frenzy is if you want to use, say, like a strength over pain to kill 2 minions.
Yep.
You don't get 2 separate attacks. So you can only use it on 1 target.
Yep.
In terms of disarm, I think in the most part it does good, but in certain things like Rampant Hatred, where it's like you're getting 1 really, really big skirmish or 1 really, really big attack, the -2 means a lot less than half. Yeah.
I mean, if we were to, say, for example, have a Gulbjorn that was about to go and do a +12 on his skirmish flip, it would be, a lot nicer to have the old, but, such is life, I suppose.
Yep.
Such is life.
All right, cool. Anything else to say about conditions here? I think we've gone over most of the main points there.
Yeah, I think so. It's easier to calculate.
Yes.
For me as well.
So. Yes, also easier to calculate. That's huge. We get to make math easier.
Oh, good, because we know that one thing the community is awful at is math.
Look,
myself included.
Ryan, we are not all engineers, okay? So
go easy.
So please. Is there something down here specific?
I think skirmish actions.
Skirmish actions. Okay, that's the next part.
Baby.
Big part. So for the listeners, skirmish actions are going to change in this way. When a friendly hero declares a skirmish action, you may choose a target enemy hero. When resolving, move up to 2 hexes before or after the movement if an attack range and line of sight with the target deals 0+ to them. Okay.
Hey, Giacomo, why are you doing this change?
Oh my God. Is he going to do this every single time?
Yeah.
And I have an answer,
He's jumping on this. Oh, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, this was confusing to explain and for multiple reasons. And how did we streamline this? First of all, you don't break up the movement. You cannot do move 1, damage, move 1 again. It's just move 2. So you can also walk over minions. And more importantly, now you must target an enemy when you declare the skirmish. That's huge. That's a huge change.
Yes.
Why did we do that? Essentially, skirmish right now, or before the changes, was outside of the game, sort of. Like, it was really hard to interact with it because it wasn't targeting. Like, target is such an important keyword in the game, and skirmish was not using it for dealing damage. And I mean that you could feel the problem even more if with Rampant Hatred or who knows, future cards that might boost skirmish. No, I mean, not a spoiler, but it just felt a dirty thing we need to fix. So here we are. Targeting is huge because I mean, it's like an attack. When you declare an attack, you must target. When you declare a skirmish, now you must target. The only difference is if you are a melee character, you can target someone out of range because with the 2 movement, in the move 2, you can get in range and then deal damage. But you need line of sight. So if someone is in a cover X or across a white line, you cannot skirmish in their face like you used to be able to.
So Ryan, no Rampant Hatred actions.
Yeah, that's
I
a
mean,
big
for me
change,
neither,
but
as I'm playing green.
but
yeah.
But I mean, it's not just that. It's also like a way to even the field between melee and ranged a bit, because right now, or I don't know what kind of tense to use right now or before. Like, we're in the future, right? Yeah, okay,
We
we're in
are.
the future. So before these changes, a ranged hero could turn 1, skirmish into the dome, and already deal damage.
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
flip a 2 or 1 and deal damage, right? Chip away HP too easily, we think. And right now, it's not possible anymore. You have to. Everyone feels like a melee character. Like you have to get close, get in range, and actually then you can skirmish.
Mhm.
So
this
what do you
definitely
guys think?
improves. I mean, first of all, the first thing is Vorhild now upgrades from wet paper to paper, because her big thing. I mean, let's look. She's still 13 HP. She's still 0 armor. Like, she's still going to blow up when you get on her. But the thing is, now you can't skirmish onto her and flip against her. So that's why she is dried out and no longer wet paper. She's just paper.
Yeah, I mean, I think now it's like marksman paper, like
Yes.
Sakoshi, or
Now
I
I'm
think
sure.
probably better, much better,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
The only ways to really damage her now are through red worship actions or AoE effects,
Yeah.
unless you have something like
Release the spirits.
release the spirits to get rid of it.
Greatest card ever made.
Or Puter and Purify.
Yeah,
Purge and
which was
Purify,
designed
yes.
Designed for her to counter her
Yeah.
together
That's
with
true.
Release.
Yeah.
It's a bit
I would
bad,
love to see that
still.
card though.
But
We might see it
also
more.
all the like Nightmare's Incarnate or reaction speed damage, you can get her while she's activating, because
That's
when
true.
she activates, she loses shape.
Correct.
Yeah.
So here's a question that I'm sure some people are going to think of. How does Gilbjorn interact with this? Because, we know that once Gilbjorn is shapeshifted, he takes that AoE swipe with his skirmish instead. So tell us a little bit about this, because I'm sure that at least somebody, including myself, is going to mess this up at least once.
Yeah, me too, probably. But the way we try to explain it is like accurate. You know how accurate works? Like when you declare the attack, you don't target anymore. And if the illusion is removed after you declared, the attack is going to fizzle. And essentially it's the same with Gulbjorn. So you're shapeshifted, you declare the skirmish, you do not declare a target because you decide that you're going to use the AoE. If they remove your condition, the skirmish fizzle and you don't move at all.
Oof. So release the
that's
spirits becomes even better.
Yes. You have to be careful. You have to be careful when you
Purify
want
also.
to. Yeah, also.
Now, go ahead.
An important clarification. If you declare a skirmish and the enemy dodges away, you can fizzle the entire... and it's not a legal target anymore when it's time to resolve the skirmish. So even before moving to, the entire action fizzles. That's a very important clarification to make, because you don't even move two in that case. Okay, I just wanted to point that out because it's not straightforward. Yeah.
Now to follow up, since
it counters the entire skirmish effect.
Yes.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to mention about the Gulbjorn thing, though, is now with Gulbjorn, you specify that you are skirmishing using that ability. You could still choose to target instead of using the ability.
Yes,
correct?
You can. The same way you can do that with Accurate. Yeah,
correct.
That was actually going to be my follow up point. Is you can still select the single target, and so if they remove your condition, then doesn't matter. You just go up and still hit them with the bear claw. But obviously, then you are committed to the bear claw single strike as opposed to swiping 3 hexes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
And my follow-up would be, you just described the, let's say, entire fizzle or totally fizzle. And there are possibilities for a partial fizzle of the skirmish, right? For example, if you can't reach to the target anymore, and for example, you're a melee hero, you're, let's say, 2 hexes away, so the enemy hero is in line of sight, everything is fine. And for example, there's only 1 hex where you could possibly move, and the enemy uses a stone barricade, blocks that special hex. So you still could target the enemy, but you won't be able to hit it, so you still remain in using the move 2.
Yes.
Yes, right. Yes.
Okay.
So it's like just targeting. So line of sight, essentially. So when you resolve, if you have line of sight, you can actually resolve the action. If you don't, it fizzles. And then
you can do
when
all
you're
parts of the
resolving,
action that you can do.
if you cannot damage for any reason because you're not in range or loss, you don't damage. But that's not fizzling, right? It's
Right.
just
Not damaging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
All right.
notably, that means you can choose to target somebody and then choose not to hit them after. Maybe there's something, they did something where you choose, like maybe they say, use like a touch of Leothan to shapeshift somebody with a Shilby, and you say,
yes.
I don't really want to get revenged on. So even though it didn't fizzle, you don't have to damage them.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So
One
done with
other point I want to
Okay.
One other point I want to mention. You mentioned before when skirmishing into the dome, round 1, you can't really deal damage. There are, I believe, 3 exceptions to that. One is Goldbrand, as we talked about. If he shapeshifted, he could use the AoE skirmish. The other one is, in this right situation, Akla or Sakoshi, if they could get line of sight through their abilities.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And in general, they're getting buffed by this, right? All the 3 marksmen are getting buffed by this new skirmish kind of meta. Varial because of what RG said, and then Sakoshi and Akla because of what you said. Yeah.
They'll still explode.
Yeah.
Yami
but
will see to
at
that.
least they deal more damage.
All right, so next up, I think we have a small change here. Well, actually, not a small change. We have a small but significant change for the green and yellow factions, which I think some people will be happy to see.
Yeah, so warship actions. There is going to be a change for Talot and Nupton. I'm going to place it in on screen. I think this is fine. Okay.
Yep, looks good.
Okay, so for Talot, as long as a Talot hero is within 3 hexes of a friendly pillar token, the hero's skill with the pillar icon next to it is active. So line of sight is no longer required to trigger those skills. And Nupton is going to be the same stuff. As long as a Nupton hero is within 3 hexes of a friendly illusion token, that hero is considered a projected hero against the skill of that illusion token's owner. No line of sight required. So what is hurting you, RG, is maybe that Kenui can, with this way, help her bodies through white lines.
Yep.
Bam.
That is not the anti-fun hero becomes even more anti-fun. Awesome.
Yep.
It also, however, provides some nice implications with something like Sethru, who can now, if he has illusions on the other side of a white line, he can now use something like a time warp or a dodge to jump really far away and even dodge through a white line to switch.
Yeah, he's mind blowing. He becomes the real mage. It's like the ultimate mage now with this buff.
Hey, Nelliclin can do that too. Hey.
With his
dodge.
If you
No,
Nelliclin's thing is on worship. Never mind. That's right. No, his passive is that he gets to play all mana words. That's right. Never mind.
He's old. And Nelliclin is old, so it is like action speed. But Setaru is like reaction speed. Like,
but he's still
working out.
Yeah, but Setaru still has much to learn, you know.
Yeah.
He's the
I will say
Padawan.
it is good that Sethru gets this buff after what Psychic Shield did to him.
Yeah, that's another story, but
we're not deleting Psychic Shield from the game. Darn it!
Nope. But I mean, the same change of as the same underlying principle that is, we want people to have fun with cards and skills. So cards, so they draw more skills. We just make them easier to use, more intuitive, straightforward, and more frequent. And so that was kind of the guiding principle. It's fun to use skills, hero skills.
Absolutely.
And so let's make it easier because it might tweak the balance. Definitely Nupton gets stronger and even Taulut a little bit stronger. But overall, the result is more fun, new meta, and I don't know what else, but that's enough to start.
I just have one question. Can I then claim the credits for those rules? As
No.
I remember, yes, I can. As I remember writing once to you guys, what about having those abilities within 3, like streamlined, like as well as with the other
Kurumo
factions?
marks.
So
Yeah.
Kurumo marks and
So
the
this is
Leothan.
he gets to have a
What?
bigger area of influence. I'm
I
just
mean-
in you.
So I'm very thankful that you just followed my suggestion.
You're welcome.
I know
A
that
lot
you
of people
can't
suggested
see
it. I
me.
don't know if you were the first one.
I have a big smiling face right now. You don't see
Yeah,
it.
why
but
can't we see you?
Because
Yeah, I can.
sharing.
I can only share
okay.
a screen or show my video. That's unfortunate, but I see no other options right now.
Yeah, I don't want
Is
to risk
there a
another
recording
crash.
still going on?
Yeah,
yeah, make sure-
I don't want to kill the recording again. So
At
Okay,
at that point, I would just say we abandon ship and regain another day if that would have failed out again.
yeah, no, we
Oh,
are
well.
Yeah, same.
about 30 minutes now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But
Well,
I think it makes a lot of sense too, because the green and yellow heroes can now place their pillars and illusions within 3. They should be able to then be able to use them after they place them right away. Like it doesn't make sense if you're like, oh, I'm placing a pillar here, but I don't
Yeah.
see it, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, you could make the argument of Skytear energy interfering, blah blah blah, lore.
Right. Right, but
stuff
it's
happens.
more straightforward this
No,
time.
I
More
agree.
streamlined.
Yeah, but then Kurumu as well shouldn't be able to worship through white lines. So
Or Leothan. Ban everything. There it is. Anti-fun.
Ban-
Nobody gets
ban
to do
everything.
anything. There we go. Ban fun.
Yeah. It does make it easier too for what we were talking about with the skirmish. If somebody places a pillar in the dome for Akla to then be like, oh, cool, I can skirmish into the dome and hit you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
They both are snipers now. Definitely.
Mhm.
Hunters.
We
This
might get
is-
to see Chromotoxin, which honestly is probably one of the coolest things that I think. Like, that's the thing that I would just love to see. It's like, oh, hey, I'm sitting at half HP. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's really cool? Chromotoxin on the big outsider.
Oh no. Oh.
Stop.
Oh yeah.
Stop. Stop.
I was thinking about this, but yeah, with the old ruling, with deciding friendly or enemy hero, that was really difficult, I think.
Yeah.
But nowadays, this should work. This should work.
All right. So
never
Akla
forget once.
confirmed the new Hunting for Power win guy. Because he just
Well, we should talk about Hunting for Power. I think it's coming up real soon, and it's going to change a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can hopefully no longer see the turn 2 activation 1 100 to 0 rundowns.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think it's hopefully, even without talking about outsider changes, which we'll get to later, we'll definitely see a lot of it'll be harder to 100 to 0 with the changes to skirmish that we had, because it'll be harder to do the big rampant hatred stuff because they now target, so there's more counterplay for it.
Well, it depends on where the Silent Ambassador, or not the Silent. Yeah, see, I just default that everyone's going to summon the Silent Ambassador. That should say something.
But yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, even
And
like
then
Arena
also-
of Flames or Redirect, like all the cards that use target are
As
going
well.
to make it fizzle or kind of counter rampant hatred or
well, Arena of Flames won't help the outsider, but Icewall will.
The outsider is going to help himself now.
Yeah.
Yes.
We will get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get there soon. We get there soon.
Speaking of how changes to rampant hatred, I believe that brings us to our next thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, actions generated by effects. So this basically is Provoke the Beast and Rampant Hatred, which activate. Oh, go ahead, Zergal. You're doing the reading.
Oh,
I don't want to steal
yeah.
thunder.
Oh, thanks.
Also Kima's ultimate.
Boom. Actions generated by effects like Provoke the Beast or Rampant Hatred are regular actions which are placed on the stack after the generating effect is fully resolved. This is the new wording regarding those actions.
Yes.
What does this mean, Giacomo? Please explain it to us.
It's quite simple. Like you cannot counter those with Psychic Shield, for example. They are those two are respectively attack action for Provoke the Beast and Skirmish action for Rampant Hatred. They're gonna work like a normal action. as you've declared them. So they go on the stack and they resolve, and they are action generated by the hero, not by power cards. So, for example, Provoke the Beast will not have piercing anymore if Seteru is casting it. It's just more intuitive. Again, it's a one less gotcha. Gotcha, is that what you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, gotcha works.
Yes.
Gotcha moment for new players, right? Because nobody expect that to work it like it used to work. So we just streamlined it. Simple.
Yeah.
And so that would also, speaking of Cythera, that would also mean that if we played Provoke the Beast like with his illusion in the area, that also wouldn't give the +1 to the attack as well, right? Since it's now considered a separate effect.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And
so it makes it a lot more easier to understand how it's going to work.
Absolutely. And Nalaklan as well won't be able to jump through from one lane to the other just by removing a pillar and playing Rampant Hatred.
I've only done that once, but God, is that so cool to do.
Yeah, that's cool, but it's just like you said, Giacomo.
It's a gotcha moment.
It's a gotcha moment. So why can he do this? It's incredible.
Yes. So not anymore. Bye.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, get rid of all those things that really that technically worked, but really shouldn't have.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Loopholes.
Let's get to the Outsiders.
Yes. All right. So this is probably, I think a lot of people are going to be excited to see about this because, and it is a valid point. Hunting for power has been an issue for, ever since it's been released, really, where people have just shoot it down very, very quickly. And it didn't matter if it was, one of the 18 or the OG Outsider that has 20 HP and 2 armor. They just oftentimes got 100 to 0s. I mean, we even saw that in the 3rd place match, I think, with, it was the 2-lane finals in the World Championship where Timbum was just able to run it down with a Rampant Hatred, turn 2, activation 1, flip the flux over, boom, boom, boom. Okay, game over. So take it away, Zergol, and explain why that's no longer going to be as easy to do.
Okay, there's some new ruling. It says when a hero damages an outsider, the owner of the damaging hero targets an opponent. Chooses an opponent. That opponent chooses one of the following actions to perform with that outsider. Yeah, maybe I chose the older version, but the opponent chooses. Okay, the opponent chooses one of the following actions to perform with an outsider. So the outsider is performing, for example, a move action, a skirmish action, but in the skirmish, the target must be the damaging hero, or an attack action, and as well, in this case, the target must be the damaging hero.
Yes.
So, yeah, outsiders are coming alive. They're not puppets anymore that you can beat them down without a life. They will strike back, or they will run away and hide, essentially, or a mix with a skirmish. So that's fantastic. That's so much fun to play. Like, it's a real game changer. It's making this victory condition a lot harder but not incredibly harder, like compared to other victory cards, right?
Right.
Victory conditions. Like overall, all these changes are slowing down the game a bit. That was another goal we had. We didn't want games to end first activation turn 2. That didn't feel right. So with this change, essentially, every time you damage the outsider either attacks you back or runs away. So, and then you can slow him down. You can disarm him. It's like
you have to stay no running.
Yeah, it's a 50 euro controlled by the enemy, and you can sinkhole it, trap it. Yes, so it's a lot more fun.
Yeah,
and interactive. The keyword is interactive.
Absolutely,
that's the most important thing. It allows more count. It's more interactive. You can't just watch somebody take down the outsider and you can sit there being like, "There's nothing I can do. This isn't fun at all." Now you're actually playing too.
Yeah.
Yes,
if you let the outsider get run down from 20 to 0, then you didn't use your counterattack options correctly. Because as soon as they start going after it with the first Rampant Hatred, you should be moving the outsider out of the line of sight.
Yep. Makes sense.
And with the new skirmish, it's really hard to chase people down.
Yes.
Like you're gonna feel it when you play it the first time. Cover axes at the edge of the map, they gain a different value, and it feels different. Like it's for the first time you can actually run away and hide much more easily than before.
Now, as an add-on to this, would we assume that this new part here in red is something new added to the stack? So, for example, let's say that I'm playing against Ryan. I go ahead, damage the outsider, and he says I'm going to move the outsider. Do I now have the window to play a reaction card before he goes ahead and moves the outsider to possibly interfere with this?
Yes, they go on the stack. It's like you declare a move action in response.
Yep.
And then it can respond with crawling darkness to slow you down, for example.
Okay.
Or it can respond with dealing more damage, and then you declare a second action that will.
That's true. They would stack.
Gets messy. Sometime it happened. Then you move 6, maybe. You move 3 and 3. Or you attack twice and kill Nenaklen or whatever.
That's fair.
Now, one thing I would like to mention, first of all, is this is to change the outsider always, not just with hunting for power.
Yes.
So even if hunting for power is not in play, if the outsider is damaged, this happens.
Yes.
The other thing I would like to say, sorry, did you have something on that?
No, that's because it's part of the game design. We want to make them be alive, right? All the time.
Makes sense.
You can redirect an attack on him, and then it will strike you back.
Yeah.
You know? You can use a redirect or other tricks like that too. Yeah. Or if an AoE, you hit him as well, he gets angry and strikes you back. So
now let's say I have a hero at 2 HP, and my hero damages the outsider, and the tamer is in play. If the outsider then attacks back, does this count as a tamer kill?
Yes. Like for the opponent. Yeah. So that's yet another way to make tamer out of the minions phase. So again, we're trying to make that's general guideline. We're going to strive toward make it everything more integrated. Even the minion phase and the heroes phase, we want to try to integrate them as much as possible. Of course, structurally right now it's very difficult with the current rules, but who knows? One step by step, we might get to a more organic and integrated feel.
That's also a really cool way to use. You can use a redirect to the outsiders, have the outsider do a tamer kill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
really
a good point. Yeah, because even though you have to attack the damaging hero, you could still have one of your heroes play the redirect on the attack action and then be like, nah, you know what? We're going to now switch this over to your 2 HP hero. Bye-bye, splat. Tamer point for me.
Yeah.
Yes. That's actually, redirect, I think, is about to see a lot more play.
I think so, too.
I didn't even think about that, actually, until you brought that up.
Happy to help.
Any other thoughts about those?
Okay, so then we move on.
Yep, I think that's all we have for there. So we're on to page 2. So it looks like game mode changes would be our next option there on the left column.
Deck building first.
That's part that's under game mode changes.
Yep. I was looking at the game mode.
Read the subtitles, Ryan. Come on, man.
Whoa! I read the subtitle, not the title.
Pew. Okay. Where to start? Okay. There's some game mode changes coming up. So each battlefield can be played with either game mode or deck building method, and the deck building methods are going to be a classic one and a competitive one. The classic one is just choose 28 power cards, add the ultimates of your heroes, and play. And the competitive one is build 6 heroes with 10 cards each, including the ultimate, of course. And this size or deck building size is being increased from 8 to 10 cards per hero.
Yes. Again, including the ultimate.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. That's
so why did this happen?
Well, we wanted to make the deck feel more like a deck. And right now it was a bit too easy with the mulligan without penalty to kind of fish for the cards you wanted. And so at the same time, we also wanted to make room for more variety of cards. And there you go. That's how and also, I mean, Skytear was designed with this in mind from day zero, And then kind of last minute, we decided to reduce the number to kind of, I don't even remember why.
Okay.
Ricardo had a good idea at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. But the thing is, it's another reason to go this way is that it's so much easier to explain. Like pick 3 cards, 3 copies each. At the ultimate, you have made 1 hero. Now repeat for 6 and you're done.
Boom.
So while 8 was a very weird number, right? Because it wasn't easy to explain this this quickly and easily. So.
And I like this. This is probably, I think, my favorite change, just because, like, I'm sure everyone has been to this point where you have that moment of, I want to put this card in, and I want to put this card in, and I want to put this card in. I'm out of space. I have to put the heroes that I can't bring. So this will change it. So as Giacomo said, it's very easy to do your 3x3 spread here, but it now also lets you know you can do 2 copies of a couple cards and then maybe 3 of one, and it just allows you to have more deck options. I like it just because it allows me to put more fuel in the fire for Yami to reign supreme.
You can go 3-2-2-2 if you want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess I didn't do the math, but I trust you.
Don't do that. Trusting
2
him
plus
is
2 plus 2 is 6 plus 3 is 9. Plus the ultimate.
Okay.
I was going to say,
Pooh.
Oh, God.
That was a close one. Okay.
Now, one of the things about this, though, is people will, like, you say with 40 cards in the deck versus 32, it's not a lot harder to draw the ultimates. And that's, probably the biggest downside with it. But keep in mind, we had at the very first rule we went over is, allows you to draw more cards. So while at the beginning of the game, it's a little harder to get the cards you want, you should be drawing more cards as the game goes on. So by the time you get to like turn 3, you should be able to get up to those same number of cards, roughly.
Yeah. I think it's more like a perceived issue. Again, I didn't run the numbers, but the feeling is the same.
Right.
Of course, you need a discipline to not lead the ultimate, which I think most of the time is the reason why you don't end up playing them, or at least sometimes. So
Sure.
Or you just flip them on 3 attacks in a row on minions.
Well,
yeah, that was
yes.
Zerigo and I were like, oh no, look at all these ultimates going to waste from both sides. Oh, that's so bad.
They were just exploding.
Yeah. Like I said during the cast, there's nothing worse than the feeling of flipping your ultimate or a +3 like Psychic Shield on a minion kill.
Yes.
Now it's going to feel even worse because of the deck variance. Like, if you flip that ultimate on a minion kill, you're going to be sad.
Yep.
Totally. Okay, we move on to the game modes.
All right, game modes.
Okay, game modes. There are going to be 2 game modes. Competitive.
Yep.
Draw 3 victory cards at random. There is an updated list. We come to that later, I think.
No. I think we should go there now.
Okay.
It's the real news. It's the real update. So you should just click on the link, and it will bring you to the table.
Yes. Okay.
Because there is a real change. Like, it's going to be 3 victories on all maps. So Ashen as well.
Yes.
And they changed. So we have Siege coming back for the true lane. Siege is reads as reduce each tower to 4 HP or less. So basically, you have to deal at least 1 damage to both towers on the true lane. So that's one change. As Siege coming back, and then on the Ashen Pass, we should anticipate another change, which is there is only 1 outsider, not 2 anymore.
Yes.
So both domes are going to contribute to the same control token, number 2, and that means we could add new victory cards to Ashen Pass as well. So specifically, we added Skytear Master and
Hunting for power.
obstinacy,
Hunting for power. Yeah.
and obstinacy as well, because the respawn changed.
Mm.
So Ashen Pass got many changes, and now we are kind of talking about victory cards, so we can go to Ashen Pass later. But so the big news about victory cards is Ashen Pass got new victory cards, and Tulane got Siege. So
Yep.
What do you guys think?
Also, each map for the competitive mode is 3 victory cards. So it's it's not 2 on Action Pass. You use 3.
Yes, always 3. We try to standardize things.
Yep.
It's again an effort to make it easier for new players to pick it up and all that. So
yeah,
I actually
also
really
the
like
respawn.
this chain.
The respawn got standardized ish.
Yeah.
It's much more similar to the Tulane as well. So
I like the respawn. Like, I mean, I've won a number of my Ashen Pass games just by murdering everyone. But like, I do think that the respawn is useful, because there's another really feels bad moment, like where you can go through almost your entire deck and then you get one hero popped, and your reserve then comes in, and then literally the next card that you draw, it's not even a flip, it's drawn to your hand, is the dead hero's ultimate. And it's just like, ugh. So now with the respawn rule, you can hold on to it and you get a chance that maybe they'll be able to come back in and use it later. So I really like the respawn rule. I'm still not sold on the split dome thing. Like, I think it may have been more interesting if you picked one dome and the other one was just kind of there, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot play with the old rules anymore. Like earlier today, I was playing with my brother to prepare him for Kirito match, and with the old rules, like, it's now that I tasted and tried the new ones, they're so much better. So
that's awesome.
Well,
yeah,
I have to thank you for not not preparing him well enough.
So to summarize, we Ricardo's defeat can be blamed on Giacomo.
Yes.
There it is. All right, very good.
There it is. Okay, so
I actually really like adding all these victory conditions to Ashen Pass. I think it'll create a lot more variety to games. I feel like beforehand we had the 4. Only one of them, Tactician, was really a control objective. Everything else was like Onslaught, Hammer, Double Kill. They all kind of felt the same, and you were guaranteed to have 2 of the 4. Now we're up to 7 victory conditions for Ashen Pass, and we pick 3 of them. So the games are going to be, we're not going to have the same game over and over again.
Yes.
And also, like, spoiler alert, new victory cards just for Ashen are coming in Q2 release. So in May.
Yes. This is going to be interesting, right? This is going to be interesting.
I mean, it's still going to be more kill oriented as a map, as a spirit of the map.
Excellent.
But a little bit more balanced and slower. That's the thing. Like, more interactions, more weird things happening.
On a related note, actually, Will, since you mentioned the Siege changes in the May release, are we going to get an updated Siege card for, like, packaged in with the May release?
Well, there's no need for that, because we are so bad at writing in English. Remember, this happened.
Yes.
Like, we made a game without the community, right? So we didn't have like English-speaking native to help us. So the way it's worded currently, it's ambiguous. So if you let me pull it.
As you say, I have my Siege card over here because I took out all the cards that are banned.
Okay.
Reduce the enemy towers down to a total of 4 HP or less.
Right.
Is what it currently reads.
Yeah. So could you interpret it like both towers must be at 4 or less?
I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but because of the word total there, like, I can see, I mean, it would require a little bit of loose interpretation, but I mean, it's not the worst interpretation that I've seen.
Okay. So we might actually print revise the corrected edition, because people are asking for it also for Giacomo Ultimate and
right.
Hunting for Power.
Hunting for Power.
Oh, Hunting for
yeah.
Power.
We're actually thinking of adding them to a future pack, but we're not committed yet to doing that.
Now, like an updated Nellican Ultimate might be good too, just because it hasn't technically the wording now still works, but it could be clarified a bit.
Yeah, that too.
I'm still sad we changed that ultimate. That was so much fun fishing for other people's ultimates.
Yeah, I agree.
It caused way too many issues, though.
It doesn't matter. It was still awesome.
Yeah, you have to explain that another hero was taking the action. Yeah, so it was a bit weird. But I agree, RG, with you. Yeah. But if it was for me, minions could enter the dome as well. Ricardo just lack imagination sometimes, but whatever.
Nice guy, Ricardo. Yeah, see, Ricardo's not here to defend himself. Time to dunk on him. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Whoa, I already dunked on him earlier. Siege is... now, one last thing about Siege. I think this new change, will make it a lot more relevant. And I actually have a very good example of this. I played a game a little over a week ago. I was playing a game with Pythoner, and we weren't using the new rules. We were using the previous rules. And we ended up playing a full 5 rounds, and the game ended in a draw. But we realized thinking back on it, the game would have been over on like turn 3 if we had Siege, which means that it's actually a victory condition that is achievable.
Yeah. So it's a bit a different invasion. I don't think it's hard or necessary. It's just different. It's a different pace. You can do first the right and the left, or vice versa. Yeah.
Right, yeah, because the power damage will stick.
We had invasion in that game, actually, and nobody won through it, but Siege would have.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I have a question, though. No. So let's say, hypothetically, on turn 2, I damage one of my opponent's towers, and he damages one of mine. Then the next turn, we push it back the other way, and then turn 4, we each damage the other towers same round.
Control number. One's going to get damaged before the other.
It's based on control number there. Okay.
Of course, yeah.
Because the victory condition would, like with left and right breach, the victory will trigger as soon as one of you does the other point of tower damage. You wouldn't even resolve the other one.
Hey, someone was going to ask the question.
Sure. No, I agree. There are the number of questions. Like the Gobjorn question earlier. I asked the Gobjorn question fully knowing the answer, but I just threw that out there because I knew someone was going to ask that, since it's
exactly. You guys are good.
Yeah, I mean, we are here to help people a bit.
Exactly.
To entertain on one side, and
I'm here to cause chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
I caused the chaos. I was forcing you guys to do this kind of format, so yeah.
And
you're responsible.
Yeah,
I'm totally
now it's
totally
coming.
Responsible.
It's coming real useful. If you scroll back up,
we
can move to the next one, which is real big and fun change.
Yes, this actually, I really enjoyed this one.
I just wanted to go back to the game modes, which we didn't mention. Exactly. The competitive one is draw 3 victory cards at random, and then the first team who achieves a victory card or destroys the enemy nexus wins the game, which is the thing that we are running normally. And the other game mode is MOBA. The only victory condition is to destroy the enemy nexus, and heroes do not respawn.
Yes.
Now, just as go ahead.
No, I want to comment on this. We are trying to improve the casual experience of playing Skytear. There is a lot of fun. This mode is fun. Like you guys should try it. And same as before, you mentioned the classic deck building method, which is again a way to play a bit more casually, where you just build a finished deck and you draft the heroes and add the ultimate of the heroes you drafted.
Right.
So these are 2 things we're trying to introduce, and we might evolve and improve, that are a way to play Skytear in a more kind of different way.
Now, just as another follow-up question for the MOBA. So we know on like Ashen Pass, before, obviously this doesn't apply anymore, but we kind of had that fake victory condition, if you will, of like the total annihilation, where if you wipe out the enemy heroes and then at the end of the round, your Nexus is still alive, then you win. Do we see something sort of like this happening as well with the MOBA mode, where if I wipe out all of Ryan's heroes and then he doesn't destroy my Nexus, because eventually what's going to happen is I'm just going to move in and siege and blow his tower up. Since they don't respond, he has no way of coming back to the game. At that point, can we just declare that I win at the end of the round?
Yeah, so I previously we had that condition as well, but we thought it wasn't necessary.
Okay.
Because the incentive should be on the on pushing the lanes, and you want to kill them anyway because they don't respawn. So killing them is real good.
Sure.
You really have a big incentive to do that. But we felt it was best to just leave it like that, and then of course, I mean you can house rule that how you want. It's not competitive, right?
True.
We're just trying to recreate the kind of a MOBA feeling without dragging it. That's why we removed the respawn, because if you can respawn, it drags too much for too long. Like the current 3 lane, you have to not respawn, otherwise it drags for too long. It's too easy to So
I did a game where I cast, I think it was Eric and Michael played on 3 lane once, and I'm pretty sure that went almost 3 hours.
Yeah, okay.
And it only started ending because we got to like turn 5 and Eric started killing off Michael's heroes, I think, or Michael started killing off Eric's heroes, whichever. And so then there was just no answers left.
Okay.
It was probably Michael doing the killing, just because Eric doesn't really do much killing.
That's fair.
Except for Nexus and Towers, he kills those a lot.
Yeah.
The minions. He kills the minions.
And the minions, kills lots of minions.
I'm still waiting for the day where someone gets Shadris and just yeets a whole bunch of minions across the white line and watches them vaporize. That's going to be so funny.
Yes. Yeah.
I've not gotten a chance to try this MOBA mode yet, but it sounds super, super fun and exciting, and I cannot wait to try it.
Yeah, I mean, no respawn is a big deal, so you have to be careful with your HP, but at the same time with your lanes. So
pack in Freyhill, boys and girls. We're gonna heal all day.
Yes.
I do. I have one question though. Are we going to see the MOBA mode at all in any competitive events? I know it's not the competitive mode, but
we might. Just let's talk in Discord about this and see
Like,
what people think.
Yeah, like a stand.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. Maybe even as like late stages of World Championship or something like that. I think it'd be cool to have some sort of event with it too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to watch.
In some capacity.
It could be good to watch, I think.
Maybe a clash.
Yeah, let's talk in Discord about this and see where we end up.
All right. Do we have anything else? I know we jumped the document a little bit, but I'm not sure. I think that actually covers. Oh, no. We do have one more thing. Yeah, we do have one more thing we have to go through.
The deployment.
The best change, I think. This might actually, I'm not sure if I'm sold if this is the best change or if the 10 deck or 10 cards a deck is, but these are 2 really, really good changes.
So yeah, 2-lane battlefield. The deployment has changed a little bit because when you draft a hero, you can deploy that hero on any hex marked below. So as the listeners can't see it, how could I describe it in the best way where to deploy the heroes? Yeah, close to the nexus.
Make a line from each of your towers. Any hex between those 2 towers, in addition to the current nexus spots, are now available or the old nexus spots.
Yeah,
can
sounds
be
good.
Used to deploy heroes.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Ryan is an engineer and draw a line. Sarah will just draw a line. Okay, and regarding this line, the Nexus now is behind all those marked hexes.
Yes, very important.
Yep. So
now, Giacomo, what does this mean?
What does this mean? I like how you changed your question slightly.
Yeah.
Well, this means so many things and so much fun. Where to begin? First of all, it means melee heroes can move and attack a minion. So move and attack. They don't need a skirmish to get in range. Okay, so that's huge. Because we are going to unlock new deck building options where you have 3 melee that are pushing, for example. something that's very hard right now, or that was hard before. And what else? It means cards like Safeguard or Underground Tunnels get much more easy to use and valuable, because again, you can move and you're adjacent to 2 minutes.
I was,
But also-
for example, I had a test game with one of the German community, and I started with Tlakali on the farmost hex beside next to the tower. So what could I do? I could just move into one of the cover hexes on the outside, really on the outside of the 2-lane map, which was really, really valuable in that situation. And you are starting from there already in control by placing a pillar, for example, with Trakali right down there to defend the minions in the lane. So 2 perfect options for minion control there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another thing is you can use Dreams of Taulat with Tlakali in that position right there to protect a minion before Tlakali even gets to activate.
Yes.
Yes.
That's really strong. But in general, the deployment and the draft is much more interactive and interesting. You have many more options. Like you can play more defensive, and you don't have Ogozai and Yami like jump on your neck without any option to escape. And in general, you use 100% of the map, even the edges that were a bit underutilized.
Right.
Right now, you really use them. And even like when you respawn, you don't have to respawn central, where it's easy to get you and make obstinacy. But you can respawn at the tower and hide on a cover X on the side, making it a bit harder to get the obstinacy, right? So another consequence of this is that when you destroy a tower, the control token just moves it doesn't move centrally toward the, like before, it moves forward. And so you don't have this clog of minions around like before, right? So it's much easier to come in and defend a destroyed lane, a lane with a destroyed tower. It's just more interactive, less gimmicky. It's only better in so many ways.
I will miss the good old days of being able to clog up with minions and then bring Kumaya over and be like, come on, come and try to defend this lane. I'm going to smoke screen you. It's over.
Yeah.
Come here.
I mean, it was fun to play around it, but if you step back and look it as an outsider,
it feels bad as the defender, because it's like, okay, I lost my tower and now I just lose the game next turn.
Yes.
Yeah, and now instead it's more interactive and it's just better, we think.
In season 3, towers will respawn.
Who knows?
The other thing, though, too, is if you have a whole lot of minions, it can kind of get clogged up, and you might not be able to get all the minions you should have now because there's not as much space for the minions, too. So it could have implications in both directions. There.
Yes. Yeah. Also,
especially if you play Imperial rights.
I do think overall, though, this is a net gain for defenders. It just makes it easier to defend.
I think so.
I agree.
Also, like recall gets much stronger.
I don't know.
Recall.
Yeah, because I started to play it even on Ashen Pass. Actually, it actually makes much more sense. Like you lead and you heal 6 with a card. It's still it starts to be decent value. Definitely not a top tier, but
yeah. And you can.
It might be useful in MOBA mode because with the permadeath.
Oh yes.
Getting a little bit of extra HP back.
Oh yes.
But also, like, you can have a hero in the right lane, lead over there, and then recall over to the left lane where there's a control token right over there.
Yes.
Because the nexus is so much bigger.
Yes. It feels more like a MOBA, we think, which is
it's
good, I guess.
It's more of a movement effect than a runaway effect.
Yeah, both.
Both. But
Sometimes you can even do it with 0 AP just to teleport.
Mm-hmm.
So do normal activation, but use it as a gank. Gank is another card that is getting more value now. I know it sounds crazy, but it's you will see how hard it is to chase people down across the map.
Yeah,
compared to before.
Yeah, with
So-
the new skirmish actions
Yes.
as well, so you can maybe this can maybe be more helpful as well, and cover hexes get more value in general, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was it, guys. I think.
I believe we have one last change.
Do we?
We haven't talked about the new Ashen Pass respawn.
We literally did.
Oh, yeah.
Just a
not
little
in
bit.
details.
We mentioned it was different. We didn't really talk about the details on it. Like,
So you
we
didn't.
said we made it similar.
Yep. So this is confusing, I think, to read, but you can give it a shot.
I can give it a shot. Oh no.
No, you've been doing great, Zergle. Keep it going.
Okay, I just tried. So for Ashen Pass, respawn is now heroes will now respawn on Ashen Pass, as we were talking about, following the basic rules. With this exception, when a hero would respawn, spawn the reserve instead and place the other hero as the new reserve. So this would actually mean, for example, I lose a hero that has been exhausted. So I will have to wait until the next round. So
2 rounds.
2 rounds, thanks. To be able to respawn a hero, and I won't respawn the killed hero. I will respawn my reserve hero and replace the reserve hero with that other dead hero, right?
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken.
It's basically like the 2 lane, except instead of respawning the hero you should respawn, you spawn the reserve.
Yeah.
And the other becomes a reserve.
Then
so it should be quite intuitive to do in practice.
And this, I think this is really good too, because like I know one of the people's biggest complaints was, again, I'm going to gang up on Ryan. If I go and kill Ryan's hero,
Of course you are.
Of course I am. I know. If I go and kill Ryan's hero, then he gets to immediately spawn it. Now, even if he'd already activated his hero, so let's say I kill his Brilvar and he brings in an Astrida or whatever. Even though Astrida can't activate, whatever. The mana is still there. Like you can still use the mana. But now with this, you kill the hero, they're down a hero for the entire round, or whenever the hero would respawn. So you now have that advantage, and you don't have to worry about basically getting 4 heroes worth of mana in a single activation. So I do like this change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did end a game really fast that I was testing. I had some test games, and I don't know what the victory condition was, but I had only 2 heroes on the board for one whole round, one entire round, and this really hurts on Ashen Pass.
Yeah.
So you have to even out with the opponent. If you don't, you're in trouble. But if you do, then it feels like a card game. Like the entire turn lasts like 1 minute. Like it's super fast because it's so easy to factor the decisions, and you both have 2 heroes. So it feels
that's
like,
true. That's true. Yeah, but I wasn't able to even out, so
to even
I just
out,
messed
so,
up. Yeah.
I
just messed up.
Needs more nightmares and incarnates and blazing edges.
So
playing a green deck.
Question.
Yeah, perfect.
I have a question here. So let's say I'm playing against Candy.
Wait, did we do that for this intro? Yeah, I forget which intro I used that for. Okay.
Yeah,
keep going. This is so bad.
Wow.
So they're playing against Candy, and I do a huge, like a first activation turn 2 Rampant Hatred skirmish with Golbjarn and kill both RG's Kenui and his Yami.
That's never going to happen because A, I would never play Kenui, and B, I would never play those 2 together, even if they use yellow cards.
And I kill them both in the same action. So on 2 lane, both of them would come back on round 3. But now, one of them would come back, and the reserve would come back on round 3. How do we determine which hero comes back and which hero stays in reserve?
You decide. The one. Okay, this question should be for Tape. But
Babe, we need you to jump in on the podcast real quick here, please.
We just move on.
so with the asterisks, that probably I might get it wrong. The one losing the heroes can decide the order of the response.
Clearly, Yami's coming back.
Yeah.
And if you're wrong, we can blame you.
It's
yes,
true.
of course.
Yes.
I'm used to it, so no big deal.
I mean, of course, first of all, the reserve hero would be spawned, right? And then you decide one of the other 2 heroes.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I have to bring my reserve, and then I would
that's
get to
too
choose
obvious.
between-
Sorry, Ryan, but this is too obvious. The answer
You
was
have to
too
remember,
obvious.
he's from Boston. Like, we set a lower standard for people up there.
And he's an engineer, so he has to
By the way,
ask
I believe
silly questions.
your answer was correct. I was asking more because I'm sure that's a question people would have, but I believe that your answer was correct there.
Yeah.
I believe
Oh,
Remy asking
okay.
Tate
Yeah,
that
of
question.
course,
I
of
believe that was the answer he gave.
Okay, cool.
Now that we've talked about the respawn here, I want to go back to the fact that we have obstinacy on Ashen Pass.
Oh, baby.
How do we? I feel like because now you kill a hero, and that's not the hero that comes back right away. You have a reserve come in, so you technically have to kill 2 heroes and wait 2 respawns to get the hero to come back for a second obstinacy kill.
Oh, yes.
Do you feel like that's going to make obstinacy too hard to get?
Yeah, probably. But as you said, even with this said, we just added a slot, and we don't have enough conditions to. We don't think it's worth removing it for now, especially considering in 3 months, more are coming.
New stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be there just because we need more victory conditions, and then once we get the new stuff, it'll be gone. Probably.
Yeah, and
We'll see how
for
it
edge
goes.
cases,
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like you, Ryan. You're just here because we don't have anyone better to host the podcast with. Once we find someone else, you're gone.
Wow, we are so professional.
Okay, hold on a second. The initial podcast only had 2 people. You don't actually need me if you only need 2 people.
Good point.
Ooh.
Way to write yourself out of a
But
job.
it's but
So
it's
actually,
making me
Archie
sad.
loves you, and he doesn't want to tell you.
Yes.
I
My
already
point
said
is,
if
I don't need to be here. I'm still here because they still want me here.
Absolutely.
Well,
Thank you.
But not because of your good ideas.
definitely not.
Because my
All
bad
right.
ideas?
Yes, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, Giacomo,
right, Giacomo
just
is
has...
Sorry.
Are you still there?
You had to close the screen.
You,
from
you
laughing
sound
too
a
hard.
bit different now. Maybe you choose another microphone. Yeah, please.
Looks like he's good now. Maybe he sounds the same to me now.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
I'm
see.
hearing a huge echo with him.
Okay.
Okay, this is
Okay.
fine.
Yep. Everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
We are done, right?
I think so.
I-
Yeah, I think that
yes.
covers
Yeah.
everything. Let's
We
get the
can
document.
sleep.
one more look
Siege, yeah,
over.
siege. No longer banned. You have to reduce each enemy total to 4 HP or less.
Yep. Talked about the card draw. We talked about the conditions. Talon Nupton. Attacks generating skirmish, outsider changes, Ashen Pass
Yeah.
rules, deck build. Yep,
Sounds
I think
good.
we got everything. Yeah. All right. Very nice.
I
Closing
switch the
thoughts, gentlemen.
screen. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to hesitate you with a migraine, so I just skip this because we are
Save
we
it
are
in for
no
next
no
week.
we are recording more than 1 hour 20 minutes. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's not
This is-
including
this-
the first 30 minutes that we lost.
Yeah, really.
yeah, absolutely. This was a hard working day, let's say.
Yes.
All right, we
So,
did perfect on the migraine. Good job, guys.
Yay! We didn't miss a single question, Ryan. High five.
oh. Oh, just a second. This is awful.
In which way?
Every way.
Like the recording didn't work or something?
No, the recording is perfect.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I hope so. I hope so.
Should we say goodbye to the listeners?
I think so.
Do we have any final
Events, plugs.
thoughts? Final thoughts, yeah.
Stay tuned for King of the Hill this coming Sunday as Ryan attempts to defend against Grey Ghost, correct?
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
yes, Grey Ghost. So
Absolutely.
Grey Ghost, Ryan will be going head-to-head on the new 2-lane rules. So good luck to the commentators. I don't know who it is. I think it might be Ethusium and Mattis, maybe. Make sure that you guys track everything perfectly. Nothing can go wrong.
Enthusiasm and Mateus, yeah.
Oh, it's Enthusiasm and Mateus. All right, very good. So yeah, please look forward to that. I'm sure they will provide you with lively insights and do your best to unconfuse everyone. We are back on the 2-lane. It is going to alternate 2-lane Ashen, 2-lane Ashen. So Ryan won today on the Ashen Pass. Now he has to defend on the 2-lane. And as of right now, which is 6 p.m. on Sunday evening, Miyuki is currently winning the community poll for whom Ryan must use. I think that the poll is open until I think sometime on Wednesday. So I know you guys are listening to this on a Tuesday. Get into the announcements section and click those changes if you don't want Miyuki to be the forced hero of choice.
And if you do want Miyuki, make sure to click that too so nobody else catches it.
That's true. Yeah, Shafathi only won out by like 1 or 2 votes this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you want to see something, really interesting, you can root for me to win like 3 or 4 more in a row, and then you get to watch me commentate against my own game.
Yeah, that actually would be really funny to watch.
Yeah.
What am I doing now? Well, I'm doing this because... Well, I mean, to be fair, we see that with Game Slayer all the time. Like...
I'll have to take some lessons from him.
Anything else? Any other community events? Obviously, we're still running the Clash right now, so that's going on.
This is, last week of the Clash is going to be with the new rules.
Yeah. Oh,
this
yeah.
is going to be interesting, I think.
Everything will be fine.
Also, the finals of the February qualifier, I believe, is coming up. I don't think we have an actual date for that yet, but it should be coming up sometime this week.
Yeah.
And beginning on Wednesday, the day after you are hearing this, we will be getting the team league.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have not signed up for that, Giacomo, you really should.
Cough, cough.
Seriously, it should be a lot of fun. I am running it, so it's obviously going to be great.
Yes.
Of course.
This is... Wow.
But it'll be a great opportunity for, first of all, the whole league will be played with these new rules that we talked about today.
Yes.
So it'll be a great opportunity for you to talk with other people and kind of learn the new rules together and figure out how to work with them and make decks, whether you are a new player or an experienced player.
Yep.
Yeah. Sounds good. I just want to thank you guys that you went on this special ride here, and I hope that this is all working as I suppose. Yeah, it looks good. Until now, it's recording, and we'll see how the video is going to end up on the YouTube channel. We are going to launch this on the Skytear YouTube channel if possible. And yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing this nice stuff.
Thanks for playing.
Special episode. Thanks for playing. Especially you can give us feedback through, of course, the comment section, and then via Discord.
Yes.
We hope to see you guys there, and hope to be able to play with you.
And we need some feedback on which image for our Jew in the future.
Yeah,
I'm going to do a poll.
Nope.
We are going to open a poll.
That got cut. We did that in the deleted footage. That got cut.
No, the images are still there. You can't see them, but I can see them clearly. Yes.
We'll do that on Discord.
Absolutely. There's going to be a poll, and you have the choice between
I'm getting bullied.
Kinui with a Daft Punk helmet or Yami with a Daft Punk helmet. Just feel free to join us.
People need free.
My vote is Kenui, by the way.
Of course it is. This is why I hate you.
You're welcome.
All right, well, on behalf of Giacomo, Zaragul, Ryan, and myself, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck in the new season of Skytear. We'll see you guys next time.
Congrats if you listen to the whole thing.
Bye-bye. See you next time.
Outsiders only. This is Skytear.